Hi, and welcome to Rambling Rose. Today I'd like to talk to you about ticks. Many of us who live or work in the area get a wood tick every now and again, and some of us have seen deer ticks. Minnesota actually has several tick species, but the one that is of most concern for most of us is the black-legged tick. That's the one we usually call a deer tick. And that is the one that is really involved in transmission of several diseases to humans. Generally speaking, deer ticks, or black-legged ticks as they call them now, are generally smaller than what we usually call a wood tick. The female is larger than the male, and the males attach, but they don't feed. Identification is important because only the black-legged tick is known to transmit diseases to humans. Identifying ticks by their size and their color is very challenging. It's not as easy as most of us think. Immature ticks, and actually those who are engorged with blood, can look quite similar to each other, so it's very difficult. A life cycle of a tick takes about 2 years in Minnesota, 2 to 3 years. This graphic shows that there are eggs in the spring, and then they hatch. They're very, very small. A larva will feed on a host, most often white-footed mice, in the summer. Lyme disease and the two other diseases that are of most concern to us are not passed on to the larva by their mother. They only get those diseases by feeding on an infected host. Then that larva molts, becomes an eight-legged nymph, and they overwinter. In the spring, they feed for 3 to 5 days, and they're right at that point, they're about the size of a poppy seed. They molt into adults, which feed in the fall or the following spring. So there are 3 different points in time when a nymph or a female will need a blood host. Black-legged ticks can only infect you by biting you. They don't infect you by crawling on you. And they must stay attached before it can transmit the disease to you. And as I said before, only the nymph and the adult females transmit diseases, generally speaking. Lyme disease is the one we hear the most about, but there are 3 other diseases that are fairly common with black-legged ticks. One is called human anaplasmosis, and that's increasing in frequency here in Minnesota, and it's sometimes it's co-transmitted with Lyme disease. Another one is babesiosis, and also that is increasing and can sometimes be with Lyme disease. And there is one more that's much more rare, but it has been found in Cass County in 2008, and that's called the Powassan virus. Now, Lyme and anaplasmosis are both bacteria, so the treatment is an antibacterial. Babesiosis is transmitted by a protozoa, which is a living organism, and Powassan is a virus. Treatment for all of these are very important. As soon as you think that you have something, you need to go in and get it caught early. If you suspect you've been bitten by a tick, you need to see your medical provider. One additional disease, Rocky Mountain spotted fever, is very, very rare in Minnesota, and that one alone is transmitted by a wood tick. So for prevention, what you can do to not even get in this position is when you're in the woods, walk on the trails and avoid moving through grassy areas. Ticks are found mostly in brush and low-lying vegetation. So you increase your risk of ticks finding you when you're in the brushy areas. Wear protective clothing. That can't be said enough. Long sleeve pants, long sleeve shirts. You can even tuck your pants down into your socks to keep the ticks off of you. Another thing you can do is use repellent. Most often we hear about DEET, and DEET can be used on your skin or on your clothing. There's another one called permethrin, and that can only be used on your clothing. It's also very important to check yourself whenever you come in every day when you come in after being in an area that might have ticks. Make sure that you don't leave one attached to you. If you do find a tick, remove it with tweezers. Grasp it very firmly around the head and gently but firmly pull it out. If there's any question, you could save that tick if you think that you have been bit, and you can have it analyzed or identified by an expert. So those are some things about ticks and their diseases in Minnesota and what you can do to protect yourself. Hope this helps. See you next time.